So this is the most pirated games in August 2017. We took the month off last month, apologies for that. So if you're looking for the most pirated games in July, according to the moderators at Crackwatch, they're the source for all of our charts anyway, so you can probably find it on there. I never have, but you may have more luck than us. By the way, guys, this chart is for educational and informational purposes only. If you like it, support the developers and buy it for a fair price. The most pirated game in August was indeed Ghost Recon Wildlands. This was actually cracked in the previous month, so but because we didn't do a chart,
we don't know where it was last month.
No, yeah, exactly. I didn't actually work it out, but yeah, it was actually cracked a month ago. It's only the single player, I should point out. Ghost Recon Wildlands is one of those games where it's sort of like Destiny. It's always online, and you can sort of have other people drop into your game or join other people's missions. Obviously, you can't do that with the pirated version. You can only basically play it through by yourself. And also, whisper it, it's not very good. Number 2 is Sniper Elite 4. Very strong showing for. I've always been a bit baffled by the success of those games, but
no, I mean, I think I played one of them and I didn't see the appeal myself, but.
Number 3, Titanfall 2. This is also relatively recently cracked.
And again, I imagine this is just a single player as well.
It is just a single player. A lot of people... Respawn recently said that Titanfall did actually sell quite well, which I'm pleased to hear because it's a very good game. The single player is actually very good. Remember, it's by Infinity Ward, who actually made some very good single player campaigns in Call of Duty back in the day. So yeah, it's well worth playing. Shadow Warrior 2 is at number 4. F1 2017 is at number 5. At number 6, we've got XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. This is actually a DLC for XCOM 2. And I read somewhere that actually, if you want the patches to fix the game, you actually have to buy War of the Chosen.
Oh god, that's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah, so thanks for that, developers of XCOM. Tekken 7 is at number 7. I believe that was also cracked the previous month as well, actually. One-on-one fighting game, obviously, from the... started about 20 years ago, that series. Agents of Mayhem is at number 8. Quite a strong showing from this. It's basically from the developers of Saints Row. I believe it's set in the same universe, but it's the same style of game, but with cel-shaded graphics. It got underwhelming reviews. I haven't played it yet myself, so I'm hoping to get a go on that soon, actually. Dishonored 2 is at number 9, and at number 10, the amazing, but not very well programmed, Nier Automata. And I believe actually even the Steam version of Nier Automata still hasn't been patched, which, considering the condition it's in, is absolutely disgraceful. We gave that 91% in our review quite recently.
What I find quite interesting in the Knicks 10, we've been saying in months that, Pro Evolution Soccer, once FIFA 17's cracked, it'll jump above it, But interestingly, Pro Evolution Soccer 2017 is at 11, and FIFA 17's at 13, which I'm quite surprised about. I thought, Pro Evolution would drop right out and FIFA would be quite near the top, to be honest.
Quite interesting, that, isn't it? I mean, I wonder whether it's because people have just become so used to pirating pairs, because Pro Evolution Soccer was cracked quite some time ago, whereas
FIFA was last month as well, wasn't it?
And maybe because, I don't know, maybe because it's so old, but it isn't unusual. Unusual to see that.
We will have both Pro Evolution Soccer 2018 and FIFA 18
in September, this month.
September, so they're year-old games.
Ark Survival Evolved is at number 14. This has actually been in early access for what has seemed like a millennia. It's actually it's just sort of had its full release and had its price bumped up to reflect the fact.
Wasn't there some controversy around it a little while
ago?
They
released the paid expansion to it before they actually finished the damn game, which was pretty shitty, to be honest. And also, the game itself runs like shit. Even you can have you can have the kind of computer that could run Skynet, and it still would struggle with Ark Survival Evolved. It's so badly put together. It makes Nier Automata look like it's had care lavished on the programming. Absolver is at number 16. This is an indie game. A good showing for an indie game, actually. It had a bit of a flurry of downloads towards the end of the month when it was released. Darkwood is what I really want to talk about. This is at number 18.
Interesting, isn't it, actually?
Very interesting story, and if you are interested in piracy, which you presumably are because you're watching this video, you'll probably already know this, but basically the developers of this game actually put it on the torrent sites themselves. They listed it on the Pirate Bay because they essentially said, the official reason they gave was that they wanted people who couldn't afford the game to have access to it still, which is a very nice motivation.
Maybe not a truthful motivation.
The cynical part of my brain says marketing stunt, and to be honest, because their heart was in the right place, I'm willing to give them a pass on that.
Exactly.
No one had really heard of Darkwood before this. Everyone's heard of it now because it was reported by all the major sites. And to be honest, if that encourages other developers to put their own games online,
And in fact, no one had heard of it, and now so many people have pirated it, thinking actually this is a half decent game, which maybe it is, maybe it's not.
Well, it's got a very high score on Steam,
Then,
and people are buying it as well.
People who wouldn't have heard of it would have now played it in the pirating it, and think, you know what, actually I'll buy this. It's a decent game.
It's the network effect. So basically, the more people that hear about it, the more people who then go on to hear about it from the increasing audience that are telling them about it.
Paid off for the developer. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely didn't backfire, I would say.
And it's not just the developers of Darkwood. I mean, yes, they put the game on themselves, but everyone who has a game listed in the most pirated chart. I know most people, or a lot of people, would think, oh no, my game's been pirated. No, don't think that. It's actually a good thing that your game's being pirated. It means people care about your games. Some of these people will go on to buy the game. Like I said, Ghost Recon Wildlands, you can only play in single player. That may actually encourage people to get the multiplayer access.
Or Titanfall 2, if you enjoyed it, you think actually I'd love to play for multiplayer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
or even something like Darkwood, people say, well, that's a really decent move by the developers. I'm going to support them by buying the game. And we do always suggest, if you like the game, support the developers, and when it's a fair price, buy it. Rock of Ages 2 is another strong indie showing at number 20. I do have actually a full top 30 below the video as usual. Number 22, No Man's Sky, the game that just will not die. Its Atlas Rises pack is at number 22. They did actually, I mean, for all the shitty things that Sean Murray did, he did actually allow his game to appear on Good Old Games from the day of release, which means it's DRM free. So, however, what is at number 23 did the same thing, but aren't worthy of the same approbation as Sean Murray. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which is by Ninja Theory. It's been described as a AA game, which I think is fair enough. It's self-published by Ninja Theory. I did recently review this myself. I gave it... Oh, shit. I gave it a score. I don't have the list of scores I've gave in front of me, so I don't know what I gave it. But, yeah, graphically, it's amazing. And the sound mixing is incredible with a good pair of earphones. They use binaural sound, so it sounds like there's voices in your head. The game itself, not quite as good as it could have been. It's just, it's a shame, really. I think I gave it 69%. I think...
You think maybe top journalism?
Yeah, I know.
Another interesting story, actually. I mean, we don't know if it's true or not, but Sonic Mania on the PC was quite interesting.
That is a very interesting story, actually, and I'm pleased you mentioned it. It was delayed on the PC. The PC version was delayed, as everyone probably knows, actually. But the rumour that it was delayed by 2 weeks is that it was to put Denuvo into the game. I don't think that's entirely why it got delayed, because actually Sonic Mania, which I gave 84% in my review. I remember the score. Done. Yeah, I know. I'm a pro.
Yet.
No, not quite yet. But the game on the PS4, I played the PS4 version. I've also got it on the Switch, and it's a bit glitchy. It's a great game. It's a bit glitchy. I suspect they wanted to prioritise fixing the glitches in the console versions before the PC, because the PC is treated, PC gamers are treated as second-class citizens anyway. So I think it principally got delayed because of that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Denuvo was also a factor in that, because what really pissed people off is that when they listed it on Steam, they didn't point out that it had Denuvo in it, so people were buying it and then getting this Denuvo shitware installed on their PC, because that's what it is. It's tantamount to a virus. It's a total crap.
And I mean,
Denuvo. It makes games run a lot worse.
And we all have an interesting story on this, maybe by the end of the month, maybe just after coming up, so it'll be something to be interested in.
Yeah, I did actually think it would be cracked by now. I'm really surprised, because it's a really small game, and generally speaking, the smaller the file size of a game, the easier it is to crack. But yeah, I'm sure people are hard at work on that as we speak. But I will say this: Sega have already patched it. They've amended the Steam listing to point out that Denuvo's there, but really that should have been there from the start.
Exactly, yeah.
But they have patched the game so you can play it offline now. So there is that at least. We'll be back next month. Definitely, we're only having 1 month off this year.
Unfortunately, I'd love to be going off to some nice warm country, spending a few months there, but unfortunately not.
Wouldn't we all? Thanks ever so much for watching, and remember, if you like it, support the developers and buy it for a fair price.